Dear third prep, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's Mr. Ahmad Mahmoud with you today to introduce a new mathematics lesson. Today, inshallah, we have the first lesson in Unit 2. The lesson is called Ratio and Proportion. In this lesson, inshallah, we are going to remember the meaning of the ratio and the meaning of the proportion that we studied in the 6th primary. And also we are going to study the properties of ratio and proportion, okay, which satisfied rules in the third prep. Let's start the lesson. First, we are going to remember the meaning of the ratio. For example, if we have two groups of balls like this, the first group formed from 6 balls and the second group formed from 8 balls. To compare between the two groups, okay, we are going to simplify to put them in form of ratio written like this, 6 to 8. Read as 6 to 8. To simplify this one or to compare between them, okay, we are going to put this ratio in the simplest form by dividing 6 and 8, both of them by 2, because they are even numbers, both of them divisible by 2, okay? The ratio will be like this, 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and 8 divided by 2 equal 4, okay? In that case, that one is called the first term of the ratio, and this one is called the second term of the ratio. Again, the first term of the ratio, and the second one called the second term of the ratio. Or by another meaning, we can put this ratio in another form like this, 3 over 4. In that case, 3 has another name. This name is called antecedent, and 4 has another name. This name called consequent. So 3 over 4 means first term over second term, or by another meaning, antecedent over consequent. This is the meaning of the ratio that we studied in the 6th primary. Okay, now we are going to study the meaning of the proportion. Okay, what the meaning of the proportion? By looking to these two pictures, we see now two identical tomatoes like this, but they are not equal in measure. They looks like each other or similar to each other, but they are not equal. Okay, that's because they are proportional to each other. Okay, by making this operation mathematically, okay, we are going to compare between the length of both of them and the width of both of them like this. The length of the first equal 10 centimeters, for example, and the length of the second equal 6 centimeters. And also the width of the first equal 5 centimeters and the width of the second equal 3 centimeters. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to compare the length of the first by the length of the second and the width of the first by the width of the second, like this. We have now 10 over 6. This is the length over the length. By dividing both terms of the ratio, it will be by 2. It will be 3 over 5 over 3, like this. Now we see what? We see that the ratio between the length and the length, exactly the ratio between the width and the width, and that's what makes the two pictures identical or similar to each other. That the ratio between the length of them equals the ratio between the width of them, so they are similar to each other, or they are proportional to each other like this. So what is the proportion? The proportion is equality of two ratios or more. Again, the proportion is equality of two ratios or more. Now we have the first ratio 10 over 6, the second ratio 5 over 3, so the two ratios are equal. This is a proportion, as we saw before in the last picture. I have another example or another picture like this. By looking here, we have two trees, okay, and we have two shadows of the two trees. By looking carefully to the two pictures, we see that the two pictures similar to each other, but they are not equal or congruent to each other. Okay, that's because they are proportional to each other. The length of the first 8 and the height of the second is 4. By comparing 8 over 4 like this, 8 over 4 equal, by dividing both ratio over 2, equal 2 over 1. This is the first ratio in the simplest form. And the shade of the first tree is 6 and the shade of the second tree is 3. So the shade of the first 6 over 3 equal 2 over 1. We see that the ratio between the heights equal the ratio between the shades. So the two pictures are similar or proportional to each other. That's what makes them proportional. Okay, the equality of the two ratios between the heights and the shade. Now let's study the properties of the proportion like this. The first property with us. Okay, if we have quantities like A, B, C, and D, if they are proportional like this, so I can write them in form of ratio. A over B equal C over D again. If A, B, C, D are proportional, then A over B equal C over D. In that case, A is called first proportional, B is called second proportional, C is called third, and D is called fourth proportional. First, second, third, fourth proportional. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the first property. The first property, for example, if we have two ratios like this, 1 over 2 and 3 over 6. 1 over 2 and 3 over 6 are two equal ratios. Then they form a proportion, okay? Now, by multiplying 1 times 6. 1 times 6 equal what? 1 times 6 equals 6. And by multiplying 3 times 2, 3 times 2 equals 6, okay? So, the product of these two numbers equal the product of these two numbers. The first and the fourth called the extremes, and the second and the third called means. So we can form the property like this. The product of the extremes equal the product of means. Okay, in that case, A, B, C, D, A times D equals C times B, like this, A, B, C, D. So A times D equal B times C. This is the extremes and this is the means, and this is a very important property. Okay, now I have example related to the first property. The first, in this example, find the third proportion between, for the numbers 3, 4, and 20. We have now three quantities, and he asked me to find the third proportional. Okay, we are going to call the third proportion x, like this. Let the third proportion is x. So I can write the numbers in form of proportion like this. 3 over 4 equal x over 20. I put here x in the third position, or the position of the third proportional. Okay, now I'm going to use the property that I studied last time. The product of extremes equal the product of means, like this. 3 times 20 equal 60, and 4 times x equal 4x. This is an equation. I'm going to send 4 in the other side divided. It will be like this. 60 divided by 4 equal 15. Now, the third proportion in that case is 15. Okay, another example. Find the fourth proportion for the quantities 18a power of 2b, 12ab power of 2, and 21ab. Okay, in that case, I'm going to call the fourth proportion x. So I have now write them in form of proportion like this. 18a power of 2b over 12ab power of 2 equal 21ab over x. Now I put x in the fourth position. Okay, this is the fourth proportional. Okay, now I'm going to make a cross multiplication by using the means and the extremes as I studied before, like this. But before putting them in make a cross multiplication, I'm going to simplify the ratios like this. 18 over 12, both of them by using the calculator equal 3 over 2. And now I have here a power of 2 and the a, I'm going to cancel the power of 2 with a, okay, like this. So it will be 3a over 2b because 18 over 12 equals 3 over 2. And here I'm going to cancel b with b, so it will be a over b, because here the remainder here is a, and down I have b, like this. And the right side will be like without change, 21ab over x. Now I'm going to make a cross multiplication, so it will be 3a times x equal to 21ab times 2b, like this. Okay, now I'm going to simplify. 3a times x, it will be 3ax, and 21ab times 2b, 21 times 2 equals 42, and the a drop down, b times b equals b power of 2. Now I need x, so I'm going to send 3x in the other side like this. Okay, so it will be 42ab power of 2 over 3a. I'm going to simplify. 42 over 3 equal 14, and a over a over a equal, cancelled, it will be b power of 2. Final answer, 14b power of 2. Okay, now I'm going to study with you the second property. Okay, we have a product like this, 1 times 6 equal 2 times 3. So I can distribute, or I can make them a proportion. How come? 1 over 2 and 3 equal 1 over 2. Okay, and 3 over 6 like this, it will be proportion. 1 over 2 equal 3 over 6. I make them, change them from the product form into ratio form like this. So 1 over 2 equal 3 over 6. Okay, I can form this property like this. If I have a times d equal b times c, so a over b equal c over d, like this. And this is a very important property. For example, if I have 3x equal 5y, so if I need x over y equal 5 over 3, like this. By using this property, switch the coefficients of each number. Okay, x takes the coefficient of y, and y takes coefficient of x, like this. X takes coefficient of y, and y takes coefficient of x. Okay, now let's study property number 3. If I have 1 over 2 equals 3 over 6. Okay, so I make the antecedent over the antecedent 1 over 3, and the consequent over the consequent 2 over 6. It makes what? 1 over 3 and 2 over 6. They are equal to each other. So if I have a, b, c, and d, so I can make a over c and b over d to form a new proportion like this, and both proportions are correct. For example, if I have x over 2 equal y over 3, so x over y equal 2 over 3. And if I need y over x, it equals 3 over 2. This is property number 3. Let's study another example. If 2x plus 5, 2, 3x minus 3 equal 5 over 4, find x. First, I'm going to change the two ratios in form of division, like this. Okay, 2x over 5 equal 3x minus 3, okay, equal 5 over 4. Okay, and now I'm going to make a cross multiplication as I teach you before. 4 times this expression, like this, and 5 times this expression, it will be like this, cross multiplication. Okay, now I'm going to distribute 4 multiplied by 2, and 4 multiplied by 5, and 5 multiplied by 3, 5 multiplied by 3. Okay, it will be like this. 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 5, 20, 5 times 3, 15, 5 times 3, 15. Okay, now I'm going to do what? I'm going to collect x in one side and the numbers in one side. I'm going to switch 15x in the right side and 20x in the left side like this. 15x minus 8x equal 20 plus 15. Okay, 15 minus 8 equal 7x and 20 plus 15 equal 35. Finally, I'm going to send 7 to the other side. As divided, it will be 35 over 7 equal 5. Okay, another example. Find the number that if we add to the two terms of the ratio 17 to 22, the result will be 6 to 7. Okay, now I'm going to do what? Let this number be x, okay? And so I'm going to write the ratio, it will be like this, 17 plus x over 22 plus x equal what? Equal 7 to 6. Okay, now I'm going to make what? Now I'm going to make a cross multiplication like this. Okay, 7 times this expression and 6 times this expression. It will be like this. Now I'm going to distribute 7 times 17 and 7 times x and 6 times 22, 6 times x like this. 7 times 17 equal 119. 7 times x equal 7x. 6 times 22 equal 132 and 6 times x equals 6x. Now I'm going to collect x in one side and the numbers in one side like this. Okay, I'm going to send 6x here. It will be 7x minus 6x equal x, and I'm going to send 119 there. 132 minus 119, which is equal 13. Okay, and this is the value of x that he asked me in the example. Okay, another example. If 2x power of 2 minus 6y power of 2 equal xy, then find x to y. First, I'm going to write this expression as a trinomial like this. Okay, I'm going to send xy here to make a trinomial like this. 2x power of 2 minus xy minus 6y power of 2 equals 0, because when I send the xy, okay, the right side change into 0. Now I have trinomial. I'm going to factorize this trinomial by open two brackets, okay, and distribute 2x power of 2, 2x and x, and distribute 6y, 2y and y like this. 2x plus 3y and x minus 2y. Now I'm going to separate between two expressions. The first one equals 0 and the second one equals 0. Okay, I'm going to send 3x in the other side like this. Okay, it will be 2x equal negative 3y. Okay, and by using the previous property, x takes negative 3 and y takes 2 like this. So x over y equal negative 3 over 2. Okay, and here I'm going to send negative 2y in the other side like this, and the x takes 2 and y takes 1. Okay, so x over y equal 2 over 1. So I have two possible values. X over y equal negative 3 over 2, negative 3 over 2, and or x over y equal 2 over 1. Now I have another example. 4x minus 3y 2x plus y equal 4 over 7. Find what? Find x to y in the simplest form. Okay, I'm going to make them a proportion. The first expression over the second expression equal 4 over 7 like this. And then I'm going to make a cross multiplication. Okay, 7 times this expression and 4 times this expression. And then I'm going to distribute 4 times this expression and 7, times this expression and 4 times this expression. 4 times 7 equal 28. 4 times 3 equal 21. 4 times 8 equal 2 equal 8. 4 times y equal 4y. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to collect x in one side and y in one side. Okay, it will be like this: 28x minus 8x and 4y plus 21y. Okay, 28 minus 8 equal 20x, 21 plus 4 equal 25y. So x over y equal 25 over 20, which is equal 5 over 4. Okay, and this is the end of the lesson. I hope it was helpful for you. See you inshallah in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.